Hey guys, it's Jolene from Smith's Nature Friendly Farms. I'm going to show you how I grew some pretty amazing giant gourds. Alright guys, I am hanging out near the chicken coop because that's where my secret recipe is for these giant gourds. Check this bad boy out. Like, this thing is huge. Probably some of the biggest gourds I've ever grown, and it all has come off of one gourd plant. So I'm going to show you how it happened and give you a good look at it. All right, so we are hanging out inside the duck/chicken pen. We have kind of a two-phase system. We have one section where we kind of put ducks and another section where we put chickens, but they open the doors so they can roam all the way around and they can go out into a kind of a play zone area. But their main area where they go to bed at night, obviously, is where they spend, a good portion of their time. And so that's where we are. We are in the duck pen. Okay, so what I did was back in the spring, I planted seeds all along the edge of the chicken pen. And throughout all the way down, we planted cucumbers and gourds. The cucumbers were for the ducks because the ducks really love cucumbers, and the gourds obviously were for me, and they're not edible, so it doesn't matter, to worry about pathogens or anything like that. So we didn't have to worry about the gourds. What happened was only one gourd plant actually came to fruition. Unfortunately, due to the heavy rains, the weeds came up too fast and crowded out most everything else that we planted. So it meant that we only ended up with one surviving gourd plant. Now that thrived. So it's right here and it goes all the way up, and it has given us a bunch of gourds. Now it's dying back at the end, but it's still growing at the other end. So I'll show you that as well. But you can see here we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 gourds right there. And it's growing up and over the roof, and that chicken coop is actually covered. And then over here we've got another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 gourds right here. These guys drive me crazy. I bonk my head on them, but they are just, look at them, they're gorgeous. And then when you start getting outside the pen, there's even more. There's one there. Not sure how well you can tell, but the roof of this is, you can see the roof of the chicken coop, and it's covered in gourd vines. And there's actually, I can see a gourd up in the corner way over there. You can see them now from the other side growing through the fence. Some didn't make it through the fencing, so they're sitting on top. They're going to make some cool, like, look at the twisted necks on some of these. Those are going to make some cool decorated gourds. Fun shapes. So that one vine is going to give us over 20 gourds, which is fantastic because this is going to be a lot of fun to decorate. I mean, they can be bird houses, they can be characters. There's so much that you can do with them. I think I have a video that shows you what I've done with other gourds that I've decorated. You can for sure take a look at them, but there's lots of things you can do with a gourd. So although I got a little over 20, up to somewhere around 25, because there's, like I said, some more on the roof. There is actually, my record is 66 off of one gourd vine. So a gourd plant will grow many gourds, and all will continue to grow larger sizes. So don't follow any rules with regards to gourds that you should cut off some so the others grow bigger. It has nothing to do with that. It just takes time for them to get bigger. The longer you leave them on the vine eventually dies off anyways, and that it has determined its growing time is as big as it's going to get. Now, obviously, lots of fertilizer and all that stuff does help impact the sizing of it, but plucking them off the vine will make no difference whatsoever in their sizing. You'll just get way more gourds if you leave them all on the vine to grow. So fantastic and fun thing to grow. If you haven't grown them, I highly suggest it. And then you could even sell them if you're not like into the crafting thing. I know a lot of folks aren't. They do get sold sometimes to different places, like I see them at the Colin Feed and Seed shop. They have dried ones for people to buy them and decorate them. So obviously using the soil that's in and around your chicken pens is incredibly fertile. It's super great for growing things like gourds. Not the best if you want to grow anything that you're not processing that's edible, because you certainly don't want pathogens all over your food products. So I wouldn't recommend it for things like a cucumber that you're going to eat fresh, or lettuce or something like that. But if you are going to process it and you want to make, you know, spaghetti squash and you're going to cook it, then that's fine. You kill the pathogens in the cooking process, so you'd be more than fine. But in our case, these gourds, it was fantastic because they're not going to get eaten, they're going to get dried and crafted, so it works out really well. And it also helps for us because we have netting over our coops, so that makes a difference. It gives it a chance to crawl, which gourds really do like to crawl. But other than the poking the seed in the ground and letting it go, we've never watered it, never fertilized it, except for the fertilizer that naturally exists, and that's it. We let them go. So great way to do it. I think I'll do it again next year, and I'll keep trying to grow along the fence line, and hopefully the rain doesn't take over next year and I get a few more. So that's it, guys. That's a great trick for growing gourds in large volume and in big sizes. Awesome. Well, you be friendly, be kind.